I still remember the exact moment Daniel froze in front of the fridge. His hand hovered just inches away from the orange juice bottle. But for the first time since he moved in, he hesitated. His confidence was gone. His face showed uncertainty, discomfort, and fear. This was the same guy who had been casually stealing my food for months, like my boundaries didn't exist. Standing quietly behind him in our small Austin apartment, I realized something important. He finally understood the lesson. If you've ever had someone disrespect you, ignore your boundaries, and treat your kindness like weakness, then this story will feel incredibly satisfying. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay until the end, because this is one of the most subtle but effective revenge stories you'll ever hear. This happened about 6 years ago when I was 27 years old. I had just moved to Austin, Texas for a new software engineering job. It was my first serious career move, and everything felt new and uncertain. Since rent was expensive, I decided to share an apartment with a roommate. That roommate was Daniel. Daniel was 29 and worked in digital marketing. At first, he seemed like a normal, easygoing guy. He was friendly, talkative, and easy to live with. For the first few weeks, everything went smoothly. We respected each other's space, kept things clean, and stayed out of each other's way. But then, small things started happening. One morning, I opened the fridge and noticed my orange juice was lower than I remembered. I paused and stared at it for a moment, trying to recall if I had drunk that much. I convinced myself it was probably nothing. Maybe I just didn't remember correctly. However, the same thing happened again 2 days later. Then again the following week. Soon it wasn't just orange juice. My yogurt started disappearing. My frozen meals vanished overnight. My peanut butter jar, which had been nearly full, was suddenly half empty. At first, I doubted myself. I wondered if I was imagining things. But deep down, I knew the truth. Then one night, I got confirmation. I walked into the kitchen around 11 p.m. and saw Daniel standing there holding my orange juice bottle. He wasn't using a glass. He was drinking directly from the bottle like it belonged to him. When he noticed me, he froze for a moment, then casually lowered the bottle. "Oh, hey man," he said like nothing was wrong. No apology, no embarrassment, just casual indifference. I forced a small smile, but inside I felt something tighten in my chest. That was the moment I realized this wasn't accidental. He knew exactly what he was doing. The next day, I decided to address it calmly. "Hey Daniel, can you please not drink my stuff? I'd really appreciate it," I said. He nodded casually and replied, Yeah, my bad." I thought the problem was solved. But nothing changed. In fact, it got worse. Now, he didn't even try to hide it. Food I bought would disappear within days. Entire drinks would be gone before I even opened them. It wasn't about the money. It was about the disrespect. It was about the silent message that my boundaries didn't matter. I confronted him again, this time more firmly. "Daniel, seriously, please stop eating my food." He shrugged and said, "Relax, man. It's just food." That phrase stayed in my mind. It's just food. But it wasn't just food. It was respect. It was personal space. It was dignity. And he was taking it without caring how it affected me. The breaking point came one Sunday morning when I opened the fridge and saw my brand new orange juice completely empty. I hadn't even opened it yet. Something inside me went quiet. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I simply realized that talking wasn't going to fix this. Daniel didn't respect words. He only respected comfort and convenience. So I decided to remove both. That weekend, I began my plan. It wasn't aggressive or confrontational. It was psychological. I needed him to feel uncomfortable touching my food. While he was in the kitchen, I grabbed the orange juice bottle and drank directly from it. I made sure he saw me. Then I slowly licked the rim before putting it back. He watched silently, his expression shifting slightly. Later, I opened the peanut butter jar and stuck my bare finger inside. I scooped some out, ate it, and closed the jar. Again, he noticed. Then I opened the pickle jar. When juice dripped down the side, I leaned forward and licked it off before closing the lid. Each action was calm, deliberate, and impossible to ignore. I didn't say anything. I didn't explain myself. I simply behaved like it was normal. Over the next 2 days, I repeated these actions whenever he was nearby. I wanted him to see everything. I wanted him to feel uncertainty every time he thought about touching my food. Finally, on Sunday evening, he broke. He stood in the kitchen, staring at the fridge, then turned toward me with hesitation. "Hey, can I ask you something?" he said. I nodded. He looked uncomfortable. "Do you always handle your food like that?" I looked at him calmly and replied, "Yeah, why would I dirty utensils if I'm the only one eating my food?" The moment those words left my mouth, his expression changed completely. He understood. He realized what he had been doing. He realized what he had been consuming. He didn't argue. He didn't defend himself. He just nodded slowly and walked away. From that day forward, nothing ever disappeared again. A week later, he even suggested that we each have separate shelves and drawers in the fridge to avoid confusion. The same person who ignored my boundaries was now creating them himself. He had finally learned the lesson. I never yelled at him. I never fought him. I simply showed him the consequences of his actions. Sometimes people don't respect your words, but they do respect discomfort. Once he felt that discomfort himself, everything changed. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like and subscribe for more satisfying revenge stories. And tell me in the comments, what would you have done in this situation?